Hey friends, do you remember our old pals, the pendulums? And of course, do you remember our new pals, the hybrid? Well, today we're going to put them together, creating hybrids out of pendulums and other tricks. These are things that we usually like to call 1.5s. Drex here from DrexFactor.com, bringing you poi spinning and flow arts to benefit your body and brain. And today, I'm adding 1.5s to your toolbox of poi tricks. Before we dive in, I just want to give a quick shout out to the friends of the channel. Big thanks to Dark Monk, Flow Toys, Pyroterra Light Toys, LMF Props, Spinballs, and Ultrapoi for helping to make the videos on this channel possible. You can learn more about all these amazing companies and the work that they're doing to support flow artists like yourself by checking out the links that I've got down in the description of this video. So real talk, summer has officially hit Washington, D.C. Today it is in the 80-degree area, which I can't remember what that is in Celsius. It's probably like high 20s maybe. Anyway, it's also ironically enough overcast, which I'm kind of glad about because otherwise the sun would probably be burning me to a crisp right now, and that's no good for anybody. But in the meantime, let's play around with a couple topics that we have addressed in past videos in this series. Namely, in our second week, we played around a lot with pendulums in different timing and directions and everything. And we also noticed that pendulums have this remarkable ability to go back and forth in different directions. We also have played around just a little bit with hybrids. I've only showed you the one thus far, but as it turns out, pendulums are one of those things that you can use to create a hybrid with another poi trick. And I've basically seen like two primary approaches to how we can do this, both of which are called 1.5s. One of which involves something that looks a bit like a 3-beat weave, but done with a pendulum on top, and the other one involves the poi kind of slipping past each other in something that almost resembles a horizontal stack, yeah? We're going to cover both of them in this video, so go ahead and strap in because this will be a fun one. Now I'm actually going to start you off with this one, even though it was the second 1.5 that I learned. The reason being that I think it's actually just a little bit more useful, and I think it's easier to kind of take it step by step, yeah? Okay, so your first mission here is that you're going to try and get your hands comfortable with the idea that one of them is going to be spinning the poi while the other one just does a pendulum. I want you to go ahead and start with the left hand, and it's going to spin the poi counterclockwise in front of you, going off to the side, yeah? I'm going to think of this as being that when the poi is going over top, it's going out past my shoulder, right? I'm going to keep that hand down close to my waist, and I'm going to bring my other hand up to about just above my head and everything so that the poi is kind of hanging out at mouth level or so. And I'm going to try swinging it back and forth in a pendulum. It is really, really, really important that I work to find this happy medium where I can have the top poi just going back and forth in a pendulum while the bottom poi continues to spin, yeah? And we also want to do this with the reverse arrangement. That is, I want you to get the poi in your right hand spinning clockwise and dangle your left hand over top of it. And again, try and see if you can work out a way to get both of your hands happy as the top hand, that is your left, is doing pendulums and your bottom hand keeps on spinning, yeah? You'll notice as I'm doing this that we're kind of going back and forth between two moments here. Moments where the poi heads seem to come together like, you know, they're going off on a vacation somewhere together, versus an arrangement where it seems like they're shearing apart out to each side, yeah? Together, apart, together, apart, together, apart as they go back and forth, yeah? Okay, so our next step is going to feel like something completely different, but stick with me here. Basically, I'm going to stick my two hands out to my sides, and I'm going to get pendulums going in and out, in and out, in and out. Now, my mission is to be able to find a way to get between this spot and one of those spots where I have a hand down below spinning the poi and a hand up above doing a pendulum. I'll show you how we do that. So I need to wait to make this switch until both of my poi are straight out to the sides, right there, right there, right there. And what I'm going to want to do is the hand that's going to go down below and start spinning the poi, I'm going to let that hand drop down and around and just let the momentum of the poi carry itself around to start spinning, yeah? Again, as it goes out, I just let it drop down into just spinning the poi, right? With my other hand, as it goes out to the side and everything, I'm instead going to drag it back across me, like I'm kind of passing the pendulum in front of my face, and then back out to the side. Drag it past, back out, drag it past, back out, yeah? So when I do this with the two of them together, the following thing happens. I wait for 3, 2, and on the 1, boom. I get into that place where I have my pendulum up top and my static spin down below. Give that another try. You can get back to the original spot here by when they're kind of shearing past each other and everything, you kind of treat that as a stall and get back to these two pendulums here, yeah? So again, think 3, 2, 1. One drops, the other drags across, and we're back here. And to get back to our pendulums, we just shoot them both out to the sides as they cross each other, yeah? Outstanding. And now let's try the same thing with the opposite hands in play. So rather than my left hand dropping down and spinning, it's going to be my right hand that does that. So as my poi is going out, I'm going to, in 3, 2, 1, let it go down and around and pick up enough momentum to get around my hand. Once again, as it goes out to the side, once, twice, 3 times, I let it drop down and around before it starts spinning, and I can get back to my pendulum by just stalling the poi straight out to the side there, yeah? Cool. The left hand, as it does the pendulum out to the side and everything, I am just going to zigzag it across my field of vision. Again, zigzag it across and back, yeah? So the two of them together wind up looking like this. As they go out to the sides, I think 3, 2, 1, right hand drops, and the left hand zigzags. To get back out of it, I let them swoop past each other, out to the sides, back to these pendulums here, yeah? One quick note with the hand that's on the bottom here, in order to get back out to those pendulums on the side, it may seem natural to kind of let it sweep out across. That's not what we want to do here, though. Think that it's instead going to be a top stall that goes straight out to the side, over to its native side, rather than off to the non-native side, yeah? Okay, so our next step here is to try and see if we can do only 1 rep of the poi spinning on bottom before we get back to our home base with those pendulums on either side. So think that you're going to do 3, 2, 1. The left hand drops, and we're right back. 3, 2, 1. The right hand drops, and we're right back. 3, 2, 1. The left hand drops, and we're right back. 3, 2, 1. The right hand drops, and we're right back. And when that gets to feel comfortable, think that you're going to do it on 2s. Thinking 1, 2, drop the left hand, 1, 2, drop the right hand, 1, 2, drop the left hand, and 1, 2, drop the right hand, yeah? And now let's see if we can just go straight back and forth between them. Think as we're out to the side here and everything, we're going to drop in 3, 2, 1, and I want to get left hand on top, right hand on top, left hand on top, right hand on top. Just going straight back and forth without having to pause with the pendulums in the middle and everything, yeah? Depending upon how you want to play this, you can either have your hands kind of sweep out wide to the sides as you're making the transitions, or you can try and narrow the amount that your hands are moving to either side, and instead try and just keep them moving up and down your center line. Either one works just as well, but you know, it depends upon the presentation that you want. I personally love both of them, honestly. Awesome, and let me show you that to you again in slow motion. Cool, so now let's talk for a minute about that other 1.5 I showed you at the beginning. This is sometimes called the 1.5 beat weave, and it happens in wheel plane instead of in wall plane. We've also already done some of the work on this. That is, remember when we started out how I was having you do that thing where as one hand is hanging out above and the other hand is hanging out down below? We were noticing moments when they went apart, together, apart, together. Well, that first 1.5 that we learned involve focusing on the moments when they go apart. This one is going to involve focusing on the moments where they come together. So what you want to do is start off with, I'm going to have my left hand up high and my right hand down below, and I'm going to wait for that moment when they are both going out straight to the same side, and I am going to let them both kind of shoot out to that side together, right? Now from here, I'm going to turn a little bit, and I'm going to get my left hand poi spinning with the right hand above it, and again, I'm going to look for those moments when they come together, come together, come together, and let them both shoot out together in front of me, yeah? So think that you start with the right hand below going once, twice, 3 times, and then switch around, and then the left hand below once, twice, 3 times, and you switch it up, once, twice, 3 times with the left hand on top, and then once, twice, 3 times with the right hand on top, yeah? So one of those questions that you don't know that you have just yet, but you will have as you're working on this one, is what to do about the momentum of this. Because it's one of those things that it's really hard at first to get them working together in this way. A lot of people do this thing where they kind of forget to get the other hand up, and they have this awkward moment where they're trying to do a pendulum and it doesn't quite happen and everything. The up and down motion is absolutely integral to this. Really think that every time you switch sides, you have to get a large amount of separation between your hands in order to make it work. That pendulum hand has to be high above your hand that is spinning the poi and everything here, right? And also, too, as the poi come together in front of you, make sure that they both have an opportunity to sweep past you on the other side. What will make this work is as they're both sweeping down and around, one of your hands stops at your hips and you allow the poi to keep on spinning over your hand, while the other hand reaches back behind you and kind of catches the poi as it would spin over your hand. That is, you're grabbing onto the momentum of the poi as it would spin over your hand, and instead your hand goes above to carry it forward, yeah? So think that you're kind of throwing both of the poi forwards and then catching the top one. You're throwing both of the poi forwards and then poi forwards and catching the top one. Throwing and catching, throwing and catching, throwing and catching, yeah? And like we often do, we're going to break this one down using a superset, thinking that we're going to do 1, 2, 3 reps on the left, and then 1, 2, 3 reps on the right. When we get comfortable with that, it's 1, 2 reps on the left, 1, 2 reps on the right, and then just 1, 1, 1, 1 as we go straight back and forth between the two, yeah? Awesome. Let me show you some footage of that in slow-mo. So here's an obvious question. Aside from looking cool, what else can we do with 1.5s? Well, they actually turn out to be really good transition tools, because as we're working with this 1.5 beat weave here and everything, one of those things that I can do is that as both of the poi come together to one side, I can switch that into a together same extension and then switch right back into this, which this is also a great place to switch into a 3-beat weave and back out. I personally am a huge fan of this 1.5 because it allows me to switch into together opposite moves on either side, as well as split time same direction stuff if I so choose. It is also one of those things that I can easily switch it into a thread the needle if I want to. There's a lot of possibilities here. Awesome. So show me your 1.5s. Please post video of yourself doing these tricks to Instagram or Facebook and tag me. I am DrexFactor on Instagram and DrexFactorPoi on Facebook, and I would love to see your hard work. Please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment so that other people can find these videos. It has been such a boon to me seeing how many people out there have been growing and learning poi during the quarantine, and I would love to see it continue. And if you're getting a kick out of this project, if you are enjoying the work that I'm doing, posting a new tutorial every weekday of the COVID-19 quarantine, then please consider signing up to support this work over on Patreon, like all of these nice folks did. Patreon has been an absolute godsend for me during the quarantine, and what has allowed me the creative and time freedom to be able to create these videos for you. So if you have the means, and I totally understand if you don't, but if you do, please head on over to patreon.com/DrexFactorPoi and sign up. You can get early access to all of my content, as well as a say in what topics I pursue in the future, plus some behind the scenes stuff. So go check that out. Awesome. So tomorrow we are going to dive into something completely different, and for the first time, look into the world of throws or releases with poi. So join me for that.